the worst seasons of some of the greatest TV shows. So in this video, I'll look at some of the greatest TV shows of all time that have had really bad seasons. So let's begin, shall we? First of all, let's begin with one of my favorite TV shows in the world, Scrubs. Now, in case you've never seen Scrubs or don't know what it is, please, oh please, go watch it. It is one of the greatest, most funniest TV shows of all time. Well, anyway, the first 7 seasons, aka the episodes that aired on NBC, were something of a treat. Everybody who is a fan of the show absolutely loved these episodes. Then they ended the show during the 2007 through 2008 writer's strike. The show eventually got picked up for an 8th season by ABC. And season 8, the first season to air on ABC, was actually alright. A lot of fans aren't the biggest fan of season 8. But they did not know what was going to come in the future because we eventually got season 9 of Scrubs. Yeah, if you watch this show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of the series regulars like Elliot, the janitor, Dr. Kelso, don't make a return at all or nothing more than supporting minor background characters. We still had JD and Turk though, but JD eventually left halfway through the show. I just don't know what else to say. Season 9 of Scrubs was just an awful season to what was one of the greatest shows on television ever. Season 9 was hated so much by the community that Zach Braff hasn't even seen a single episode of Season 9, not even one of the 6 he was in. But yeah, Season 9 of Scrubs was just awful, and let's move on, shall we? Now let's move on to my old-time favorite show in the world, SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, Scrubs is a pretty great show and all, but SpongeBob has to probably be my old-time favorite TV show in the world. I just absolutely love it. The first 3 seasons and the original movie were something of a treat for SpongeBob fans. I mean, it was SpongeBob at his absolute best. Everybody, people who weren't even a fan of the show even loved these episodes. Yeah, it was just great. Then after the movie, Steven Hillenburg kind of left, and then they made season 4 and on, and people say season 4 is whenever the show's downfall began. But seasons 4 and 5 were not that bad. In fact, seasons 4 and 5 were like the black sheep of SpongeBob seasons. But if you were to ask me when SpongeBob's downfall started, I would say during season 6. Season 6 was a pretty awful season, and were the other seasons after this better? Certainly not. Then we got the absolute worst season ever, season 7, and then we eventually got season 8, which I didn't hate as much as the other 2, but yeah, season 8 was pretty awful. I kind of got a bug in my eye. I'll just cover my eye. But yeah, then season 9 kind of continued this trend as well. But then for the second SpongeBob movie, Steven Hillenburg actually came back. And then he eventually came back to work on the show later. And SpongeBob had a revival through season 9. Season 10 was pretty good, alright. And then we got one of the greatest seasons since seasons 1 through 3, season 11. Season 11 was great. Not as great as the first 3 seasons in the original movie, but it was pretty good, all things considered. But then they had a downfall starting again in season 12 after Hillenburg died and all of that. And then season 13 started this and then picked up, and then we get season 14. So yeah, that is a long history downfall for SpongeBob SquarePants. Now we are going to end this video with another one of my favorites, The Office. The Office is probably one of the greatest TV shows to exist. It is perfectly written, the humor is pretty great, and I just love it. The first 4 seasons of The Office were awesome, man. Like, the first 4 seasons of The Office were something great for NBC. Then we kind of got season 5, they got a small downfall. I didn't hate season 5, but then we got the last 4 seasons, season 6 through 9, and I just hated these episodes. It's like, what became of The Office? Yeah, these episodes might have been awful, but it's always good to remember that we had the first 4 seasons, and that's all that matters. Like and comment for part 2.